Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. Today is World Scrapbooking Day, and I wanted to show you a very simple card to make. First of all, I wanted to show you two different things. When I get my images, whether they're digital or stamped, sometimes I stamp a lot of them and go ahead and color them to see how they're going to come out. And I try different colorings, or if I'm just in a mood to color, and I used to store my images in this photo box. Well, then it got to be that I would make so many of them that I have this. This is a box. I think it has these little pockets in them. And what I used to do with these, I used to store my scrap paper by color in each of these little pockets. But now I store my scrap paper along with my regular paper in another just big pocket in the section that I store them in. So this is where I moved my images to. So I have a lot of images that I've already colored. And what I did was I put a label on, like these are all baby images. And the images that I've colored, or maybe I was thinking about using them in a layout or a card and I didn't use them, and they just go in here. And I have them all separated by theme. This is baby, I have girls, I have boys, I have birthday, I have Christmas. And then I just store them in here. And this stays in with, it sits right next to my Copic markers that I use to color all the images in with. Now, to get started with the card. If you haven't been to Walmart, you should know that Walmart has a lot of Studio G items in that I have not seen or seen anywhere. And these are some 5x5 cards. They have two different styles. One style is just a regular square card. They come with cards and envelopes, and they come in 8 in a pack, and they're $1. This pre-made card has the little design on the end of it. The other one is just a plain square. So I'm using one of these, the plain square one, to start my card. And here it is. And they also, remember I said they also come with envelopes. They're just a plain card. This is one of the images I had colored up already. It's one of Mo's images. And all I did was, I'm going to take a piece of paper. All I did was first I matted my image on another blue to kind of match her scrubs that she has on. This is going to be a Get Well card. And I cut my first mat a little smaller than my card base. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to ink around the edges of my card with the blue, because I want to bring out some of the blue in the card. Okay, so all I need is my dauber, and I'm going to take my card, the front of the card, and I'm just going to ink around the edges, just to bring out a little bit more of the blue that's going to be in the base of the card. I'm just going to go all the way around the edges before I put my first layer on. Okay, now I'm just going to take the first layer and tape it down. And remember, this is slightly smaller. than the other one. Now I wanted to take some blue. And what I'm going to do is the blue that I have around the image. And I'm just going to take my cutter and I'm just going to cut it up a long strip, a 2-inch strip. I think I'm going to use. I'm going to change that to a 1.5-inch strip. And I always keep it longer so when I put it on my card I can center it where I want to when I'm going to embroider, when I'm going to punch the edges. And usually I'll just mark it, but I'm going to put my image in the center. So I just put a little crease in there. And on the front of this stamp, this is a Fisker stamp, there's a little line. And I'm going to, if you can see the little line right there, and I'm going to put my creased edge right on that line to line it up. And I'm going to do my punch. Okay, I'm going to do this on both sides, lining up that little lined area to make it look like a ribbon or lace. Okay, now I'm just going to punch it as usual, matching it up as you go down to punch it out. Okay, I don't even have to punch the rest of that because I know that it's going to be long enough to fit on my image. So I'm just going to figure out where I want to cut it at. I'm going to keep as many of the hearts on there as I can. And I'm just going to mark it with a pencil so I can erase it off where I want to cut this off at. And just cut it. You can, if you want to, that you can go ahead and you can tape it down to your card and then open up your card and cut it off. But I find this just as easy to do too. Okay, I'm going to put it on like that. So I'm going to use a little bit of my tape, run it down the center. And line it up on the edge. I'm just going to open up the card and take my little scissors and just trim that part off. Okay, just trimmed that part off. Now I think I want to put a little piece of ribbon down the front to bring out the accents of the red. I seem to do this a lot when I'm making it on the spur. I forgot I shouldn't have taped that end down. So what I do is I take my Cricut lifting, that spatula to lift it up with. Very easy to do. Tape my end that I want to go up under, and I'm going to tape it on both sides so it could grab it both ways. I lifted my paper up a little bit, right on the edge there. Put my ribbon up underneath where I want it to go. And just adhere it back down. Put my ribbon across, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Find out where my tape needs to go on both sides. Lift up my edge. You may not be able to do this if you use glue, but I found that if I use, because I used the ATG tape, it gives me a few seconds to work with it. And now I'm just going to put that underneath and glue it back down. There. Quick fix for a little mistake that I did. Now, I'm just going to take my image that I had already made up, and I think I'm going to place her right here. Okay, I'm going to use a stamp by Stampabilities. The one with all the different sayings on there. You just put it together what you want. And I want to put Get Well. So I have the well. I'm going to put Get Well Soon. And what I like to do is, I like to put it on my card exactly where I want it to say, with the other part on the bottom. Make sure you can read it through. And then I put my block on top. Then I look through it and see if everything is just the way I want it. Then I'll ink it up. And put my saying down. Okay. Now for my image, I want to pop it up a little bit on Pop Dots. I'm just going to pop it up a little bit. And center it back on your card where you want it to be. Then I'm going to put a little bow over here out of my red ribbon. So if you've seen this before, it's on other people's videos. I didn't come up with this one, but it's out there in YouTube. I can't remember offhand where I got the idea from, or where I saw it and copied it from. But I'm going to need to turn it my way to do it. It makes beautiful bows all the time. Okay, you just slide it right off and adjust the little legs of your bow, trim them off the way you want them to be. And I'm going to put that over there. And I just used my tape right on the back of the bow to glue it down. And I even put a little bit right there on the bottom, I don't know, what do you call those, the wings of the bow, so I can get them to lay just at the top, because I want the bottom to be free, to get them to lay where I want them to lay. And there's a very simple card out of an image that you already had made up. Then you can write anything you want to on the inside or stamp a sentiment. But this was a quick and easy. I already had the image already made up for my coloring time. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you.